which I told you didn't have enough money in it. Number two, I don't like private prisons. You know, there's only maybe 4 or 5, but in the juvenile area particularly, and I've got a friend that's in the room tonight that can testify to how bad they are. I will work my butt off to get rid of them. What you have to decide is who has the experience to do that, who's worked in the field before, and not just talk about the rhetoric of the things that have to be done, but has a record of getting things done.
Before you start, we're running down to the end of this. I'd like you to do your answer, and then each of you to do about a 1.5 minute summary of what you want to say, because we really have to get to the next panel, but go Tracy.
Well, I am happy to say that criminal justice reform has become a bipartisan issue in recent years, and we have seen good reforms coming from both parties. So I think that this is definitely an issue that can be worked on. I think one thing we can note from both Margaret and Ray is that something needs to be done. I've been working in criminal justice reform for almost 2 decades. My first job in the legal field was with Innocence Project New Orleans, where we helped to get people who had been wrongfully convicted released. I worked with death row exonerees. I've worked with people in the post-conviction phase for years. I'm currently on the board of Project 180, where we help people transitioning back to the community successfully from prison. And I can tell you, our criminal justice system is a mess. It is destroying our communities. It is costing us a lot of money. We have the highest incarceration rate in the entire world. The highest incarceration rates in Louisiana, where I used to work. Top 10, Florida. We are in the top 10 for mass incarceration. 45% of the people incarcerated are there for non-violent crimes, mostly drug offenses. These people cannot receive the treatment that they need to re-enter successfully back into the community unless we put the resources there. The last budget cut $33 million out of substance abuse treatment in the middle of an opioid epidemic. These people are going to come back to our communities whether we've provided them with treatment or not. They're facing homelessness, joblessness, and that is a public safety issue. In addition, we put our courts on starvation rations during the Great Recession. Now that we're a growth economy, we're not seeing enough funds put back into our court systems for solid diversion programs. Now the 12th Circuit here, we have some great diversion programs, but sometimes you get somebody in there and they don't have a place to go. If we're going to cut the funding for substance abuse and mental health treatment, we need to have, you know, the criminal justice system is where these people touch. People with mental health, substance abuse problems. We've got a veterans court, we've got a drug court, we've got a teen court. These things are great. They actually, when people touch the criminal justice system, we can get them to where they need to go to get the help that they need. But if we're just going to incarcerate them, we're spending over $20,000 a year per person to watch them cycle in and out of prison. We have a whole population of prisoners that can create no harm to our community because they're so old or sickly, and they're in hospice, and yet the administration has not processed them properly so that they can go home and get the treatment that they need and be with their families for the last months or weeks of their life. This is a way that we can save money, and it's called a compassionate release. It's simply compassionate. So there's a lot of work to be done in our criminal justice system, and I'm really looking forward to getting up to Tallahassee and working on it.
Keep the microphone. Wait, keep the microphone. One of you, or all three of you, I know, what is the cost to the state per prisoner per year?
It's over $20,000. It's under 21. I can't give you the exact number right now, but it's less than 21,000.
So it costs us
Yes.
20,000 per, and what is the number of?
About an average of 100,000.
Yeah.
So it's costing us 20,000 times 100,000 for our prison system. Quickly, about a minute each of you, just to sum up. You might as well start. Tracy, you have the mic, and then we will take your water bottles when you leave. I've got more for the next bunch, and we will transition.
Okay, I'm going to look here and see what we have missed. Programs for the developmentally disabled, I support that, definitely. I don't know who asked that question. Sanctuary cities, I believe that we need federal comprehensive immigration reform. However, I do not think that we should be taxing our local law enforcement with immigration. That's not their job. Already we use local law enforcement, as one law officer told me, as a junk drawer, as I said, to deal with mental health and substance abuse and so forth. I don't think we need to be adding immigration to that. That's the federal job. The Constitution says so. Healthcare, that's one of my big topics. I am married to a family doctor who's worked in community health his whole career, taking care of vulnerable populations and mostly seniors. I believe healthcare is a human right. Opioid crisis, mass incarceration, reproductive rights, I'm pro-choice. And before I hand the mic over, I want to apologize if I don't shake anyone's hand tonight. I have a little bit of a cold, so I'm not trying to be rude. I have materials over here. You can read more about me at votetracypratt.com. I'm on social media, and I am in the community every single day. Unlike some people, I'm knocking on doors, I'm making phone calls, I'm at farmers markets, I'm at festivals. I go everywhere that I'm invited. Invite me to your home with you and 6 of your friends for a cup of coffee. I don't care what party you belong to. I am happy to talk to everybody in the community about issues and about solutions. So thank you very much for having me tonight.
Thank you. If you were to get elected, I just told her, I said, I hope we sit on the Criminal Justice Committee together because we got some similar ideas. Because it is a very bipartisan issue. Well, here we go, folks. Some people want change. I want change too, but I want to make Florida better, not worse. I don't want to raise taxes. I don't want sanctuary cities so that one sanctuary in Sarasota can have a problem with those in Bradenton, and it's wrong that locals don't have a role because our good Sheriff Tom Knight works with ICE and Homeland Security all the time and has deported a lot of the bad people. The overall immigration issue, you need to write your congressmen because they've all failed. They've all failed. But we're not Congress, we're Florida. And I'm not an attorney and I'm not a doctor. I'm just a guy that worked in a green and white patrol car for many, many years, and I saw the good, the bad, and the very ugly of our community. So I know it well. I told you before that I think experience counts. I'm not a lifetime politician. I served 4 years on the county commission for you, 23 years total in law enforcement, and 6 years in the House, and I ran for Senate. Well, we had 5 good candidates there. I lost. When we had the fiasco of a representative quitting midterm and causing a special election in February, when the session was almost over and nobody had hardly been to a committee meeting in her life, I spent 10 years as the governmental affairs coordinator for the Peace River Water Authority. I went to every committee meeting for every session and every session for 10 years. I saw it from the other side of the dais. So I was prepared in 2010 when I defeated the incumbent to go up there and represent you. I want to do it again. www.electraypilon.com. I'm on Facebook, and as we always say, hey, vote for Rick. Thank you.
Thank you so much for holding this forum. Thank you, Cona. Thank you all for being here and listening to our ideas and thoughts. I am so proud and honored to represent District 72. I believe that we deserve real representation. And that's why I ran, and that is what I work to do every single day. I just want to get things done. I listen to our constituents. We've held 7 town hall meetings, and I've spoken to thousands of people at their doors, listening to what matters to people in Sarasota. I am available and I am accountable to you all. We moved the district office into the district. The entire time Representative Pilon was in office, the district office was not in the district.
And also Democrat Keith Fitzgerald spent his entire 6 years.
And we moved it into the district, and I thought that that was really important because I think that we need a representative that's in the district. And I am actively learning and listening to not only our constituents, but also to the elected officials. I have met with almost every elected official in Sarasota County to hear what's important to them. I've met with leaders from Moat Marine, from First Step, from all of the nonprofits in Sarasota to really find out about the issues and what is important so that when I go back to Tallahassee, I can do my job as effectively as possible because it takes real work. You have to be prepared to read the bills before the committee meetings. You have to be prepared to ask the important questions, and that is what I will do. You know, I don't have 6 years of experience in the Florida legislature, and I didn't sit for 4 years on the county commission before that. But look what experience has gotten us. We have bad votes on education, bad votes on the environment. We have really poor water quality now. I think it was time to make a change. And that's why I ran, and I believe that the people of District 72 voted for me in February because they're ready for a change. They want somebody that's going to represent them. So I thank you for your time tonight, and I ask for your support come November 6th. Thank you.
On behalf of Cona, I want to thank all of you very, very much for having been here, for participating.